Hello, Mixtresses and Mixters. This is Mixtress Ray, and you're watching Mixtress Video. So today, I'm going to do something that is a basic enough idea that it's possible someone has already started this and done it as like a hashtag and all that stuff. If I find out that that is the case, I will retitle this video as a VR to whoever started it. However, to my knowledge, I just came up with this idea, but it's a basic enough idea that like it's very possible someone's done it before. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the major arcana only today. I'll probably do another video with the minor arcana later. And I'm going to go through, I'm going to describe the specific symbolism that I personally like to see in that particular major arcana card using the RWS deck as a reference point. And then I will show you my most favorite Fool card and then my least favorite Fool card. So that's why there's a space over here. We might even have to move this over a little bit. Okay, I forgot my beverage, so let me pause. Okay, so this is just gonna be like a fun little video, like nothing serious going on here. So, as far as Fool cards go, basically I'm very visual with my symbolism with the tarot. So most of what I'm going to be pointing out today is like what I want to see in the card. So what I want to see, well, what I want to feel in the Fool card is just naive joy and, you know, fearlessness. And I also like to see a familiar in the card as well. It's not extremely important to me that I see like the knapsack or like a flower. I really like this flamboyant outfit here. This is one of my very favorite Fool cards. And I'm only comparing to RWS because this is the system that I learned with. So here is my very favorite Fool card from Moonchild Tarot. I think this has the sort of exuberant joy, just her body posture is, I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me something about the coloring in this card, at the fact that the cliff is just going off into the night sky. Something about the coloring in this card and the figure up here reminds me of Kate Bush, and the fact that the little companion is like probably a white German Shepherd, but it also kind of looks like a wolf. So that's my very favorite Fool card. My least favorite, and I want to express that like this is all personal opinion. I don't want to like be disparaging towards any deck creators or anyone that loves any of the decks I'm pulling out. With the Fool card in particular, I don't really have a least favorite Fool card, but I think for me, this one is the least effective and is from Raven's Prophecy. And the only reason why I say that is because I just wanted a little bit more detail. There's nothing wrong with this figure or anything. I just personally wanted a little bit more detail. So that's my very favorite and least favorite Fool cards from my own personal collection. Which, by the way, maybe I should show you guys my list of cards. I just made this notebook yesterday. I don't know if I'll be able to get it all on camera. Nope, I can't. I can't get it all on camera. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold it at a weird angle. I'm gonna figure out how to hold it at a weird angle so you can see it. Okay, so these are all my tarot decks in order of appearance. Okay, I'm putting them sideways. So you can pause that and crane your neck if you want to see. These are all the decks that I have at my disposal to pick my very favorite and least favorite cards. Okay, next we move on to the Magician. So with the Magician, basically I just want to, it's not completely essential to me. The main symbolism in the RWS being the roses and the lilies. I don't have to see roses and lilies in my Magician card. Although when I see them, I'm like, oh, cute, they're there. You know, it's fine. Either way. What I really want to see in a Magician card personally is I want to see, I like the limniscate, but really all I need is to see a witch at their table with their tools. You know, I want to see that sort of, and if the body position can have an as above so below, that's great too. So for me, I went pretty traditional. My very favorite magician card is from Modern Witch. Isn't she gorgeous? I love it so much. And then my personal least favorite magician card is from Moonchild. And really, the only reason is that what is the reason? I feel disconnected. And I think it's because this person is like wearing this like gauzy thing that is flowing all over the place. And for me personally, I don't, and he's sitting. So I don't see like the more active position of like being in control of your tools and all of the, like my personal like tagline for the magician card is, oh, I just lost it. Manipulator of objects in the physical universe. Like this is someone that has complete control of all the elements, and this person looks like they would have a hard time moving around in what they're wearing. So I don't feel that same like control of, you want to know that they can like get shit done in whatever they're wearing, I think is what's important to me here. In a High Priestess card, what's important to me, like I think for me, I do want to see a moon. The pillars are nice, but I don't need them to be there. I do like there to be a book, just something that represents like knowledge. So some decks will give you like a book, some decks will give you a pomegranate to symbolize that, as you see here in the background. So I don't need to see everything that you see here, but I do like to see, I just realized it's not in my favorite that I picked, but I do like this kind of like mother maiden crone crown situation. I do like the presence of the moon. But what I really want to see in a High Priestess is just pretty much a badass bitch with some sort of symbol of knowledge, of like Akashic Records knowledge, all the knowledge of the universe. So my very favorite High Priestess card is from Moonchild, because she definitely looks like a badass bitch to me. We still have the moon, we have the pillars, we have the night sky, we have water down here, since this is a water card. We've got books, and we have a familiar. I like High Priestess cards that have like an owl or some kind of bird of knowledge, and I would say that a raven is a bird of knowledge. So this card really hits all the points for me. Yeah, it does. Totally. Okay. And then my least favorite High Priestess card is from Hush Tarot, just because I think with Hush Tarot in particular, it's a very interesting deck. I'm still getting to know it. I've had it less than a month. But there are a lot of cards that I feel like were not meant to be the tarot card that they are. Like, I don't know if this is really supposed to be a High Priestess. This is just a chick in a laurel crown holding some birds in her hand, you know? For me, this doesn't say High Priestess at all. And I don't like that her gaze is not direct. I feel like with the High Priestess, you want her to be looking straight at you. You want her to be a little aloof towards you, but looking straight at you. Nonetheless. That's me anyway. Okay, Empress. For Empress, again, I just want to see, a mothering figure I want to see someone that's comfortable and sexy, and I want to see a lot of nature. That's basically what I want from an Empress card. So my very favorite Empress card is from Shadowscapes. And you definitely get a lot of nature here. There's a lot of energy with her. I don't know, I guess this one is not this card is not the most Empress card of all Empress cards for sure, but I just really, really like it. I like that sort of like mother goddess energy when it comes to Empress, and I definitely get that with this card. My least favorite Empress card is from Muse Tarot. This where I think the Muse Tarot fails when it does fail, it's because I feel like I'm looking at Instagram models or something, and I definitely don't want to get that feeling when I'm looking at an Empress card. Again, my personal opinion. I think Chris Ann is a very talented artist, and I love the Muse Tarot, but okay. Emperor. With Emperor, I I want to see stability, but I want to get as far away from what I would call toxic masculinity as possible. And this card doesn't do it for me at all. I'm totally cool with seeing like a nod to Aries, which we have here. I like Ankhs in Emperor cards. That's great. But even saying that, the card that I'm going to show you that's my favorite Emperor card has none of those things, and it's from Wild Unknown. And it's my favorite because for me, until our society starts healing our problem with masculinity, our problem with the patriarchy in general, like for me, I feel like, and I've said this many times before, but I feel like our society, it has been in a reversed Emperor energy for probably centuries, maybe longer than that. So for me, until we can move past that, I'm not even probably going to want to see a human figure in an Emperor card. I mean, there are definitely some Emperor cards that I'm fine with that have human figures in them, but as far as like my very favorite, I think about this one because I think about the stability of a tree. Whenever you look at a tree, it takes gender completely out of the card, which I like. Um, I just think this is the Emperor card for me. And my least favorite Emperor card, I want to apologize to one person in particular. You know who you are, who I know loves this card. But my least favorite Emperor card is Children of Letha. And the reason is not because of the man. That used to be part of it, but I have come to really heal a lot of my own psychological issues with seeing the male form. And so it's no longer a problem with that. I just don't like whatever's happening down here. This is extremely upsetting to me. And I think that this is a good representation of Emperor energy that we have in our society right now. So it's not an ineffective Emperor card, but it's just the most upsetting one for me personally to look at. I've had a journey with this card. I don't hate it as much as I used to. Okay, that's Emperor. Next, Hierophant. This is another one that, like, I don't really like the RWS Hierophant, or Hierophant, or however you're supposed to say it. So what I really want to see in a Hierophant card, I want to see like the possibility of a spiritual teacher, but I also want there to be a little bit of High Priestess energy of like deflecting to the person that's learning as well, because it's not all about the teacher. It's about the relationship of, you know, teacher and taught. Whereas here there's a very clear hierarchy. And so I guess I don't really have a specific, I want to see like some some arcane or esoteric symbolism. Um, and I want to get like a sort of lecture feel a little bit with a Hierophant card, but I don't want there to be like a I'm way better than you vibe, and I feel like that is what you get here. So my very favorite Hierophant card is from Darkwood Tarot, because you get the sort of like esoteric symbolism shit going on. I like the keys just because it's an easy reference point, having the crossed keys. The fact that there's all these books back here, so you get the idea that this person has spent their time. They've put their time in studying, you know. And I love the idea of Hierophant being a tree. And then your two little students down here are just two little turtles that kind of swam up, and they're like, hey, what's up? I might learn something here. Maybe, maybe not. And I do like this sort of hand posture thing. You get the as above, so below energy that you get sort of in the Magician card as well. My kitten really wants to come in here right now. She's putting her little paws into the door. But I know if I let her in here, she's just going to want back out immediately. Okay, my least favorite Hierophant card, Muse Tarot. And it's, again, it's because who we have here as sort of the figure that is on high, that's supposed to be the teacher, is just a naked model on a rock. And I personally cannot get my brain past that. I just, again, I feel like I'm scrolling through Instagram and I'm seeing an image that if I was scrolling through Instagram and somebody made this and showed it as a possible Hierophant card, I'd be like, well, that's cool, that's cool. But I don't actually want to use it as part of a deck, if that makes sense. Okay, Lovers. This is my soul card, so it's kind of important to me. I get the sort of like the triage of like they see in one another the divine. You know, so the divine is part of the relationship of the lovers. It's like a namaste moment. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. And so that's the representation. So with a Lover's card, I just want to see that. I want to see that sort of we are all the same energy somehow. I don't need to see particular symbolism. Like, I appreciate the fact that we have whichever one of these is Tree of Knowledge and one of them's Tree of Life. I don't know. Sorry, I actually don't know. But I don't need to see that. I don't need to see the serpent. I don't need to see an angel in the sky to understand the sort of like divine connection. It doesn't have to be that. And as I've said many times on this channel, Marigold Tarot, this is my favorite Lover's card by far of all time, because you just see them looking into each other's souls. You see them completely meeting eye to eye, and the moon in the background can kind of be your sort of like your nature / divinity connection. They're both wearing bridal wear, so in their dress, they're equal. And the fact that you can impose yourself onto them no matter what gender you identify as, no matter what race you are, no matter what size you are. These are just the skeletons. This is just the base part of who you are. This is just your skeleton, you know? I love that you can, whoever is looking at this card, you can put yourself into it. And then my least favorite is from Moonchild. So far, I'm very much like either love or hate with the Moonchild deck. I think we see it a lot less. And yeah, this is the last Moonchild card I'm even gonna show. No, it's not. There's like one or two more. Okay. This is, again, it's the same reason that I dislike other Moonchild cards, because to me, this looks like, you know, some Instagram couple that you're like, ugh, I don't look like that. And then you scroll past and you feel kind of crappy about yourself. No offense to the models here. You're gorgeous, obviously. But like, for me, and I've come to like appreciate this Lovers card because Moonchild is one of my probably top 10 favorite decks. But overall, this is just not it. It's not it for me. Need to go a little bit faster. Didn't want this video to be super long. With the Chariot card, I really just want to see like victoriously riding into your future. I don't need to see like, I like all of the nods to astrology that we have going on here and the little moons, little moon, excuse me, faces and the star, all the celestial crap. I don't need to see all of that. I don't know what the fuck is happening here. I don't need the sphinxes. Just like sort of some like victoriously riding into your future vibe is all I really need for a Cancer card. And then bonus points if you also actually get some water energy in the card. However, there's no water energy in my favorite Chariot card, and that is from Moon Power. And it's just, there's not a lot of symbolism here. It's just the idea of riding a rat. I just can't get past it. It's just so fucking cute to me. I love this Chariot card so much. It just like every time I look at it, it just makes me so happy. And then my least favorite Chariot card is from Sasarai Bito Tarot. And really it's only because this particular horse to me personally is just a very personal, visceral reaction. This particular horse just looks really upset to me. So that's not the energy that I want to have with the Chariot card. Strength. So a lot of strength cards are pretty much the same, you know. Chick with a I just almost called it a wolf. What is it called? A lion. Oh my god. Mercury retrograde, you guys. Chick with a lion. Totally fine with that. I just want, basically it's a vibe again with the strength card. What I want from a strength card is I want to feel that sort of communication with animals and compassion towards animals as a representation of overcoming your own war with yourself and your desires and your passions and your animal self. So my favorite strength card is from Darkwood Tarot because to me this is, she is directly confronting a snake at her like root chakra point. So she's, to me, this is her confronting her own inner passions and power. And that's what the strength card is about. I just think it's wonderful. This is a great strength card because it's going outside the traditional imagery while still completely maintaining the correct symbolism to me. And this this theme within Darkwood Tarot of like confronting your own power and confronting internalized misogyny, which I think we all have, whether we identify as male or female. Internalized misogyny is everywhere, you know. I think this card deals with that theme. God, words. My least favorite strength card is from Halloween Tarot, and it's just because this is like a circus atmosphere, and so when I see this card, I automatically think of, and this lion looks really unhappy too. So I get that this is supposed to be like a lion taming situation, and I'm sure that there are lion taming circus situations that aren't terrible. But to me, I just think about like animal abuse when I see this particular depiction of the strength card, and it takes me out of how whimsical and cute the rest of this deck is. So this is definitely my least favorite strength card. Hermit. With the Hermit, I just want to see again a general vibe of going inward. It's great to have the lantern, or just that sort of source of light, being that you're carrying your own source of light. Um, but yeah, I don't need specific, I don't need a cloak necessarily, although the card that I chose from Modern Witch as my favorite, she does have a cloak. I like the idea that she's closing the laptop, you know? She's stepping away from the internet. And like in our current moment, I feel like that is the way that we hermit. We just simply walk away from the internet for an hour or a day or a month or whatever. So I also like that she has white hair. Her like carrying of the light is in her pendant here, carrying it within herself, just on herself at least. I like that she's barefoot. I like that she's in some kind of beautiful space with this window right here. Yeah, you can just kind of imagine that she's like in some old mansion or something, or she might even be in a castle or something. And then my least favorite is from Sasarai Bito. I don't really have a least favorite hermit card, but I chose this one simply because I don't even know it. I think it's just because it's a little bit, because this particular deck is very emotional and visceral to me. Like, you feel a lot of love flipping through the Sasarai Bito deck. So there are a handful of cards in the deck that kind of take you out of that feeling, and it just feels inconsistent. So I think this is just, for me, a comparison to the rest of the deck. This makes me, I feel kind of emotionally removed from this situation, and that's, I mean, that could be an interpretation of the Hermit. It's just not mine. And we have Wheel of Fortune. For me, with Wheel of Fortune, I just want, basically what I want to see is a passage of time. Or some sense that the karma that the energy that you put out in the universe comes back to you. I want to see a what goes around comes around vibe in a Wheel of Fortune card. And I've said many times before that this is my favorite Wheel of Fortune, but it's from Wild Unknown. Because to me, you can just really see that this owl has made their own fortune. And you see that passage of time because you see the night and the day. So this just has everything I need in a Wheel of Fortune. I want to see time, and I want to see a sense of you built the wheel. And I really, this is, with the RWS, it's just like there's a little too much going on for me personally in the Wheel of Fortune. I don't need to see the 4 fixed signs. I don't really understand that symbolism, but totally cool if you do. I like that it kind of, the wheel sort of says tarot when you go around. But the other symbolism is like, it's some Hebrew stuff. It's basically just like a bunch of esoteric symbolism, which is totally cool, and I'm down for that. But it's just not how I, in my current level of tarot knowledge, interpret the Wheel of Fortune, just personally. My least favorite is from Hush Tarot. Again, I mean, it's just an ant on a leaf in some water. I don't understand how this is a Wheel of Fortune card. And it's possible I'm missing something, and this is a pretty new deck to me, so I might be eating those words later on, but right now, I don't see it as a Wheel of Fortune card. And I recognize as well that like my personal interpretation of Wheel of Fortune is kind of weird. I think the way that I define Wheel of Fortune is the way some people define justice. For me, with justice, I really just want that Ma'at energy of like heart being weighed against the feather. And if there's a sword, great, because I do like the sort of warrior aspect as well. But the one that I chose as my favorite doesn't have the sword. And that's from Dark Goddess Tarot. It's just because it literally has Ma'at. It's completely balanced. You've got the heart against the feather. You've got this doorway behind her. I really like it. And then my least favorite Justice card is The only reason why this is my least favorite, it's not because of the symbolism, it's because of the fact that it just makes my eyeball hurt when I look at it. And it's from Sasarai Bito. I can't look at it, and it's my Libra card. I can't look at it. So that's why it's my least favorite. Not because it's ineffective or anything. Hanged Man. So what I want to see in a Hanged Man card is basically just someone being peaceful hanging upside down. That's all I really need. If they're hanging from a tree, that's best. And I definitely like bat energy. In the past, I would have picked Wild Unknown because it's a bat hanging upside down as my favorite, but my new favorite Hanged Man card is from Darkwood Tarot because it's got the bat energy because she is a bat, but she also has a bat companion. And I just think that is amazing. And she's still hanging from a tree. I love it. I love it. And you even get a little spider over here too. My least favorite Hanged Man is, again, there's a theme here, Hush Tarot. It's just, it's the main drawback of that deck for me personally is that there's a lot of cards in that deck that I feel like don't actually fit the card meanings. I don't know what's happening here. She's sort of stepping out of like some barbed wire or something, and she's wearing a mask, and it just really unsettles me, which is fine, except I don't know how to connect it to Hanged Man. I just don't. Death. With Death card, I want to see, again, kind of that passing of time. I want to see the I want to see death and rebirth. I want to see that quote that I love from the Sandman comics, the Death character, that is, you get what everyone gets. You get a lifetime. And I almost picked the one from Darkwood Tarot because that one definitely says that to me, but the one that is my actual favorite is from Santa Muerte. And it's because the pregnancy and the cradle with the scythe, it's like she is both the bringer of death and the bringer of life. She also, oh, I didn't even realize she has an hourglass. So it tells you that sort of, it gives you that other aspect that I wasn't even thinking was in this card because I forgot about the hourglass. That sort of like, you get what everyone gets. You get a lifetime. So you get that passage of time, you get life and death, or that's not death. You get life and death because she is death. She's got the scythe. Yeah. There's so many different ways that I feel like you could interpret this card if you wanted to. I like the subtle vaginal imagery here that takes you to the, you know, the potential for, you know, vagina havers to bring life into the world. I know not all vagina havers have the capability to do that, nor do all vagina havers want to. Like, I have one of those, and I definitely don't want to have children myself. But that sort of potential that you have the power to bring life and take it away. My least favorite death card is from Tarot of the Divine, and it's because I don't like it is okay. Like, taking out completely out the whatever the myth is here, which I have forgotten, but it has something to do with you're not supposed to look at the person that you're married to, and then one day she looks. Anyway, whatever. It's completely outside of that. What is upsetting to me is I get a really, and this is just a personal psychological reaction to this imagery in particular, I get a really rapey vibe from this. That's not what I want in a death card. So this particular card just doesn't work for me. Tempe. In a Temperance card, I've said this before, I want to feel forgiven when I look at a Temperance card. I want to look into the eyes of the figure and feel and feel that inner balance. I want the alchemy to change. I want to become instantly calm looking at the figure in a Temperance card. I want to get that. I want to get like a mothering goddess vibe. And so my very favorite Temperance card is Moonchild. Because I definitely get that looking into her eyes, this figure. I feel all the love in the world. And the image is very, very balanced, but it's not completely 100% balanced. I like the moon phases that you have going on here. And the colors, even though they're very light and I don't normally gravitate towards light colors, it still works for me in this particular card. So my least favorite Temperance card is the one from Wild Unknown. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just, I mean, you get the water and the fire, but I don't know. I don't feel it. I don't feel forgiven when I look in this animal's eyes, you know? And that's what I personally want. I'm realizing that, like, my definitions of what I want to see in the cards, I want to feel forgiven by this. Like, what? What does that even mean? Anyway, whatever. I know what it means, and this is all just about my personal favorites and least favorites. Devil card. I want a cheeky devil card. I want it to be not serious. Bonus points if it works with the Lovers card. If you can set the Lovers and Devil card from a deck next to each other and you can see the dichotomy between those two cards, because I do think that they're linked. That being said, the Devil card that I picked does not have that. I picked Wild Unknown because I just love it. The combination of the hooves being on fire, so it's kind of a, you can't stay here. You can't stay here. You can't stay in this devil energy forever. Whatever thing that you're personally indulging in that is sabotaging you, you can't stay here. But I also love that it's just sort of cheeky, sort of laughing. Like, the devil is going to taunt you, but you're not supposed to take the devil seriously. And this is a devil that you don't have to take seriously. And it just makes me laugh every time I see it. And I like a devil card that kind of has that cheeky quality to it. While it still has the seriousness of, your hooves are on fire, you got to get the fuck out of here. You can't stay here. But also, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. You got this. The devil shows up whenever you got this, and they're trying to, like, pull you back off the path again. You know what I'm saying? My least favorite devil card from Hush Tarot again. Because, I mean, it's cheeky, I guess. But I don't see the... I'm not getting there with the symbolism. Like, how is a kitten wearing a very realistic human face with devil horns? How is that devil card? I don't know. You can't just throw some horns on it and call it a devil card. Tower. I almost said Terra. Tower. So what do I want to see in a tower card? I mean, like most people, I don't want to see a tower card. But at some point, I made the connection just personally to Kali. I think other people would agree with that assessment. I mean, obviously, because what I'm showing you is, so, like, after I had made that sort of connection that what I want to see in a tower card is I want to see some kind of hope and some kind of purpose for there being this crazy, unexpected, out of your control event. And so I picked from Dark Goddess as my favorite tower card because it has Kali. And it shows that, like, in that destruction, there is a mother energy, and it's whatever is happening is also for your good in the end. So my actual least favorite tower card is this one. Because part of it is just because the perspective is totally off. The other part is just because, like, it's triggering to see the tower card, especially when you're first learning tarot, and, like, that's the card you fear the most. That's the card that when you see it, you're like, no, and you put it back in. So just personally, I'm most triggered by this image. So it's my least favorite. Star. With the star card, I have a lot of, not necessarily requirements, like I can appreciate a lot of different star cards, but my ideal, I want to see an image that looks a lot like this. You know, I want to see the water being poured from 2 different vessels. I want to see the bird. I want to see 8 stars. I want to see them, I want them to be 8 pointed stars. You know, I want almost all of the traditional RWS symbolism in a star card. It doesn't have to be there, but that's my ideal. So I just picked Modern Witch since it's a direct knockoff. And it's a woman that's a little bit meatier, and you get to see the bird more. It's harder to see the bird in this one. And it still has 8 stars, and they're all 8 pointed, and she got pubic hair, which I like. My least favorite star card is from Wild Unknown, because I'm sorry, Kim Kranz, I just think you phoned this one in. I just do. Moon. For the moon card, I want to see a reclamation of the moon energy. I want to see like some diving into your shadow, but also emerging from it and learning something from it. And so the perfect moon card to me is Darkwood Tarot, because she is the shadow. She is the scorpion coming out of the water, but she has reclaimed those parts of herself. She is illuminating the shadow in the sunlight, but you still have this really cool little path off into the distance, and you've got the 2 wolves here, and you've got bats. This is just the most beautiful, wonderful moon card ever. My least favorite is from Dark Angels, just because, I don't know, just like what is happening? I don't hate it, but so I guess I don't really hate any moon card, but this one's just not totally for me. Sun. Go ahead and tell you right now, this is my least favorite sun card. I don't like a naked baby on a horse in a sun card. What I want in a sun card is just total exuberant joy. And you definitely get that with this Children of Letha card. I like Bast. She's a sun goddess. I like the sunflowers. I like all of it. Judgment. I don't like a religious looking Judgment card, so this one really isn't for me. I don't need that whole like calling you back from the dead energy. Like, I don't hate that, but I don't need it. I don't really like the angel with the trumpet situation. Any angel, trumpet, Judgment cards are not for me. So my very favorite is from Darkwood Tarot, because like I said in many recent videos that have featured this tarot deck, I just really like the idea that she's being reborn as a vampire, and she's consenting to, this is a total change of her life trajectory. So my least favorite Judgment card is kind of a tie between this one and the one from Wild Unknown, because again, I know all this really is some birds, but how tangled this title situation is distracts me. That doesn't feel like a Judgment energy to me. And it just looks, this looks like a religious postcard to me. I can't with it. That's not the feeling that I want in a Judgment card. World cards. What I need in a world card, I don't need to see the 4 fixed signs, but I do need to see that dancer energy. I want to see movement. I want to see, I want to see movement. So my favorite world card, this was a hard choice because there's several that I really like. I picked from Shadowscapes though, because I like the movement. She's a dancer for sure. And I like the idea that like maybe this is the world that she just conquered, but she has another one. So you can kind of see the movement to the next phase. You can see that she's overcome this, but she has a whole other world to conquer. So So you see like the possibilities, and you see the movement and the dancerly quality of the world. My least favorite is from Hush Tarot. Again, because like this person just looks really sad and huge. Like, and they have a bird. Like, there's no world energy at all happening for me in this card. At all. And also in this particular deck, the Judgment card is also like that. Like, it's also a person in an archway like this. And so it's just like, what? I don't know. That's just me though. So that's it for me. These are my most favorite and least favorite Major Arcana cards. If you would like to do this project yourself, it's really fun. It does take some work because you have to put all your decks in, you have to put all your decks Major Arcana cards in order and then look at them together. But I think it's worth the work. So if you're into it, go for it. It may have been done before. If so, I will, like I said, I'll rename the video as a VR to whoever started this, whenever that was. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you have a great Halloween and all the things, and I will see you in the next one.